Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator, who has the light years best environmental education and agenda that the world needs, but every environmental solution, every environmental voice has prevented this solution since November 93. And had anybody embarked on the solutions the world needs, we would have solved our global environmental problems and we wouldn't be still having this discussion and we wouldn't have to be listening to all of these fraudulent environmental voices who, unknown to the world, prevent the solutions the world needs. And, no press will tell you that, not even Project Veritas. So that kind of comes in here today. Our subject is the Doomsday Clock because they set it once a year, and today was the day they set it. So
the security board find the world to be no safer than it was last year at this time, and therefore have decided to set the doomsday clock at 100 seconds to midnight. The doomsday clock continues to hover dangerously, reminding us how much work
we have to do. So it's hovering dangerously at doom's doorstep. It's 100 seconds to midnight. This is put out by the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists. They do the doomsday clock, nuclear risk, climate change, disruptive technologies. They've added this right here. Of course, these when you take a look at some of the reading here, they seem to be globalists, that's for sure. But climate change is part of their book. They're on their 75th year here, and it's a brand. It's one of the most the Doomsday Clock is a brand, one of the most recognizable symbols of the past 100 years. It has permeated not only the media landscape but also culture itself. Right? It's been in novels by Stephen King, Piers Anthony, and they have a coffee table book, and it has impacted culture, politics, and global policy, and helped shape discussions and strategies around nuclear risk, climate change, and disruptive technology. So, since they put out information about climate change that isn't true, I send them some information that they need to start putting out here. You'll see. But this is here we are, 100 seconds to midnight. There's some other subjects here. When was it the farthest? It was in 1991. It was 17 minutes to midnight. And who decides what time it is? The original person died. The guy who started it, Rabinowitz, Eugene Rabinowitz. But now the Bulletin Science and Security Board took over the responsibility. So, and it has since met twice a year to discuss world events and reset the clock as necessary. The board is made up of scientists and other experts with deep knowledge of nuclear technology and climate science, who often provide expert advice to governments and international agencies. Oh, okay, so good, because maybe they'll get the solutions, the environmental solutions the world needs to the world. But yeah, this is their overview page, and if we look at their current time page here, it has their statement that was put out today. And this first paragraph here is, yeah, last last year's leadership change in the United States provided hope that what seemed like a global race towards catastrophe might be halted with renewed U.S. engagement and even reversed. Yeah, with the new administration changed U.S. policy, changed U.S. policies in some ways to make the world safer. Agreeing on an extension to the New START arms control agreement. Yeah, beginning strategic stability talks with Russia and announcing the United States would return to the Iran nuclear deal and rejoining the Paris Climate Accord. Yeah, because the new administration just gave the world so much hope, and now a year later, they're still saying, "Oh no, no, wow, wow, us globalists thought Biden would be different." This has a lot of globalist talk in it right here. So, yeah, that's interesting. But further on down here, let me find it. Yeah, they say that the huge gap still exists between long-term greenhouse gas reduction pledges and the near and medium-term emissions reductions actions needed to achieve these goals. Yeah, there's still a huge gap, as has been since people started screaming about the environment. And who's still working in this environmental field? Well, that was part of my video last night. The same people that have proven themselves completely ineffective, valueless, and complete failures for 4 decades now, yet they still have their job. They're still the ones at all these global conferences, right? While the person who has the solutions the world needs is going, "Hey, hello, could I please get in the game?" And here they talk about the nuclear tightrope, which is getting scary out there. And then climate change, lots of words, relatively little action. Yeah, but it says that, in Glasgow, countries were under pressure to strengthen their emission reduction pledges. Oh, and yeah, right, significantly relative to their pledges 6 years ago in Paris, right? Which that Paris Agreement is as valueless as every other global agreement has been for decades. What have they produced? Hugely negative results. So that that's oh my God. It says overall countries' projections and plans for fossil fuel production are far from adequate to achieve the global Paris goals. And, all we need to do is start living responsible, people. But, here again, they have goals by 2050, 3 decades in the future. Okay. You know what? If they would embark on the environmental education and agenda, we would have immediate goals achievement, not goals, immediate achievement right now. Not, oh my God, we hope 3 decades in the future. Well, no, 3 decades from now, if these failures for 40 years have produced anything of value, which they're not going to, they've proven they don't have the ability to. But you know, they they say last year we noted optimistically the election of a U.S. president who acknowledges climate change as a profound threat and supports international cooperation and science-based policy. But and they've seen a dramatic change in tone from the previous presidential administration. You know what? They haven't, because Trump was like Bush. He's like, I don't believe in it. I believe in taking care of the earth. Trump did more environmentally than Barack did in his first 2 terms by legalizing hemp. If only we would start utilizing it. Okay, and this new administration is the old, before Trump, 8-year administration, and they have been refusing the solutions the world needs since Barack's first presidential campaign. Okay, and they are adamantly opposed to solutions. So they're not going to do anything. They may talk the talk that they're on board, but they're not. And it's the same result as with Trump. You know what? If any of these people had achieved for 40 years, if Gore had achieved, if the United Nations, if Barack had actually led, and this Biden is Barack point 3 White House. I mean, if they had achieved in his first White House, it wouldn't have mattered what Trump thought, because we would have already been on the road to solving this problem. We would have made huge, major advances, positive, betterment while Barack was in office. And we'd be making them now. We would have been making them regardless if Trump was in office or not. We would have continued to keep the progress going, and we would be solving the problem. We would have made astonishing progress. So this is false, and they don't know it. But are they going to change their wording and start telling the world the truth when they do find it out? Well, we're going to find out because we're going to send them a message here. But it says that for over 4 decades, the threat of climate change um, to future generations has been woefully noted. The warming has continued to drive temperatures up, and let me see. Yeah, it talks about the harbingers of yet more dire consequences as climate change accelerates, in the youth's lifetime. So if we need environmental solutions, well then, you know, we should get on them. And here they are yapping about the youth climate movement, and such as the student led Fridays for Future protests around the world. And oh, that's right. Who do they show? Greta. Of course. And Greta is a preventing solutions fraud. She's still out there having solutions, demanding the people in office who she says are failures give her solutions. While since Earth Day 2019, Greta or her handlers on her behalf have been preventing the solutions Greta continues to cry out for. Greta herself could have made a huge positive impact by stopping crying for solutions and using her voice to get the solutions the world needs implemented. But of course, here they are giving Greta, you know, credit. Oh my God, she cares so much. She doesn't. And, then they go on to, oh, in the age of disinformation. Well, this right here is interesting, though. Just a little bit of tidbit. This right here um, is the European Space Agency estimates that the Earth is currently orbited by more than 300 million objects of space debris sized 1 millimeter to 1 centimeter. Yeah, and that's expected to increase. But this is the space debris, the field like where all the satellites and everything are. And, I know NASA has a program that tracks all this because every launch they have to make sure that they're not hitting big pieces of this space debris. But this is the first picture I've ever seen of the space debris. So I just thought that was interesting because I mean, it's really scary. We're not just trashing the planet, like, we're trashing space. This is a dump out here. These are, if somebody from the space station drops something they're working with outside of the space station, or just satellites, parts of them, and that this is all just like I've read before, from like things from the size of a nut or bolt to something maybe the size of a school bus. It they track a lot every day. Like there are a number of objects that are big enough to be tracked, and that's what they track with. And it gets clear before every space launch that the launch will not hit one of these pieces of debris. So I just thought that picture was a little interesting there, but you know, they're they're having us at 100 seconds to midnight. So far, in 75 years, the farthest they've had us from midnight is 17 minutes. And actually, if you look at their timeline here, it's a lot of 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 9 minutes. It's all seconds here, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7, 9, 10, 17, right there, 14. But, It's a lot of low single digits, 3, 4, 7, 9, 12, 10, 7, 12. It's a lot of single digits. And so far, we've been okay. It's, your computers just love to feed us with information. Yeah, sorry about that. I love when I do a video and notifications that you don't need to know pop up on your screen. But so far, even though we've been minutes to midnight with disaster, but with the way of events in the world right now, it's getting a little scarier out there, even on nuclear terms. But here, I'm just sending them a little note here. I tell them Greta's no hero. All environmental voices are frauds. Core, Redford, Sundance, everybody you could think of, up to Trudeau, Ardern, and Greta today. That includes the left, including this present White House. Rejoining the Paris Agreement is worthless for two reasons. One, they have refused the environmental solutions the world needs since Barack's first campaign, and the Paris Agreement is as worthless as every other global agreement has been for decades. This is truth. You need to help the world know. The press will not. Oh, the press will not. Let me. Not there. Not even Project Veritas. And give them the website and BitChute. So let's send them this tip here, right here, right on video. And my response was successfully submitted. So we let them know that there are solutions to climate change here, and the people that they put a lot of credit in their in the last year, because the new administration was going to be so much better than that big bad horrible Trump. What? Oh my God. Anyways, I just thought I'd bring this to your attention because until I went and looked at this website today, I didn't know it had to do about climate change. I just really always thought it was about nuclear annihilation. And right now, with events going on, things are getting a little scary out there. But if they want to yap about climate change, then let's see if they'll be the people that will tell you the solutions the world needs. I doubt it. There's a lot of globalist talk on that website, but stay tuned, people. This is the Environmental Educator, and this is information you will only get here.